Very big update. So the difference with this story is going to be that I'm going to add some information that just came out. When I was putting this story together, it was literally within the hour that some of this information came out. So some of you guys that are going to be watching this are going to be getting new information than what's already been put out there, okay? So we're looking to get justice, kind of give our thoughts and feelings about this story, and let everybody know what happened to this young angel right here. But before we get into the story, let me give you a disclaimer about my channel and content. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And thank you very much. And I'm getting this story from people.com because I think that they had more of the updated version. So thank you very much for the article. But a lot of you guys were expecting a positive outcome, and there was not a positive outcome to find this young lady. And a lot of you guys might already be privy to that information. So Madeline Soto's dead body was actually found. And so let me say this. When I initially talked about this story, I insinuated some things that I thought. And I want to kind of see if you guys maybe agree with this. When you have these older, perverted looking men around these children and their disappearance and their death, in my mind, and I'm just telling you as a father, I'm always thinking, why would an individual, a human, do this, let alone a man, to single out and target a young lady? And a lot of times it's been proven that these type of things are sexually related. They are sexually motivated. So I know that's going to be heartbreaking for a lot of people to hear that, but I thought this real early on. So let's talk about this. She was found dead in a wooded area 5 days after the 13-year-old was reported missing, and police suspect her mother's boyfriend moved her body. Hashtag mom's boyfriend. Here we go again. Florida's Orange County Sheriff's Office announced in the news hours after sharing a press release on Friday that they were confident that that young lady is no longer alive. The sheriff's office said that the search teams from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office located her body at 4:30 p.m. in a wooded area off Hickory Tree Road, and that Madeline's family has been notified. We have no additional information or release at this time. Kissimmee Police Department, the lead agency in this homicide investigation. That work continues, according to their update. Now, the news of her death comes days after she celebrated her 13th birthday on February 22nd, according to the Orlando Sentinel. Madeline and her family lived in an apartment in Kissimmee. I'm sorry, I know I don't ever say that right. I never have said it right, so my apologies. But it's in Florida, and she attended school at Hunters Creek Middle School in Orlando, according to the news. Although it was believed that Madeline was seen on her way to school, Orange County Sheriff John Mina said during a press conference that the detectives determined that Madeline was never dropped off by her mother's boyfriend, and his name is Stephen Stearns, who's 37 years old, the guy on the right-hand side of the screen. Back the hell up just for a moment. And I'm going to tell y'all, ladies, I'm getting absolutely tired of this. And for the good women in my chat, I know y'all are getting tired of hearing this too. Like, you got to be thinking, like, as many mom's boyfriend stories as we present on this channel, it's been national news. Everybody talks about it. You know it's a narrative. Why do women continue to keep trusting the man that they're having sex with to deal with their daughters in any shape, form, or fashion, let alone your daughters? How about your children, period? Why is your boyfriend dealing with your children? I would love for somebody to explain to me the logic in that, because it doesn't make any sense. If you're going to conjoin your lives together, get married, then that would now make him the legal guardian. But y'all don't even want to do that. Y'all don't even want to do that. What we want to do is we want to play house, Play like we're a dad. Play like we're a father. This man is only with this woman just to get his dick wet. And I want to remind y'all, and I know y'all keep thinking I'm crazy for saying this. Ladies who are listening, I continue to tell you, and I'm going to look into the screen and tell you this. There are a lot of perverted men who only are with you for sex, regardless of whether you know it or not. When you have daughters, young underage daughters, there are a lot of perverted minds out there that look at your daughters as a younger, untainted version of yourselves. So if that man can be attracted to you, the perverted mind man will be attracted to your young, underage, budding daughters. Why have I seen so many people in the comment section get mad at me for saying that? And they don't seem to have that same kind of goddamn energy for the people who are actually doing what I'm saying. I don't understand that. They get more mad at me for my depiction of what's actually going on rather than the actual actions of these pedophiles. She just turned 13. So under 13, he's like border pedo. We're going to call him a border pedo. Okay? Now, mom had trusted this man apparently so much that he was able to take her to and from school, I guess, which I think those are just not good things. Just stop doing that. Okay? Deal with your own kids. That's mom and dad's job, not mom and boyfriend's job. Instead, we believe that she was already dead at the time that Stephen moved her body in the early morning hours on that day. We have video evidence that shows Stephen Stearns discarding items, quote unquote items, in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 a.m. on Monday, February 26th. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19 a.m., we have evidence that shows that Stephen Stearns returning to the apartment complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. Y'all catch that? We believe she was already dead at that time. Kissimmee Police Chief Beatty Holland said that the case remains an active and ongoing investigation and that there's a lot of additional information that they can't release at this time. Now, according to Holland, Stearns was transported from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola County Jail. That was People's article. But again, I'm going to tell you guys, we suspect that this man sexually assaulted this girl between age 12 and 13 years old, whatever age that she was that this happened. I believe he's 100% a pedophile / hebephile, whatever you want to call it. But I want y'all to hear what the news said. These first 3 videos are actually going to be update videos because they came out only a matter of hours ago. So this is all breaking news. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. For those who are watching this story, if you will, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, share, and leave a comment. That helps us so much to be able to share this story. I know a lot of people want to get different perspectives, which is why they go and watch the different podcasts on this. So make sure you guys hear us out on this, okay?
Now to some breaking news. According to records just obtained by WESH 2, the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's case sexually abused her for almost 2 years. Michelle. Prime suspect in Madeline Soto's case sexually abused her for almost 2 years. Michelle. Just obtained by WESH 2, the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's case sexually abused her for almost 2 years. Michelle.
Now, with just that information right there, I actually don't have to play any more of these videos at all. Brand new information. But you know what's funny about this is I feel sad for the children who are children by mothers who will watch this, listen to this, and don't give a damn, will stay with their boyfriends, will choose their boyfriends over their children, will continue to keep leaving their children around their boyfriends unattended, and continue to allow their children to be assaulted by their boyfriends. That's all you needed to hear right there.
Now to some breaking news.
Let me take a pause real quick. Let me say thank you to Cynthia Miller, who just gifted 5 channel memberships. Cynthia, if you're listening from the bottom of my heart, you do this all the time. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you. The people who now have a channel membership is Cynthia Campbell, Tanea, Eric, Carl, Stormy, Cherie, and Tina Miller. And now keep in mind, guys, and make sure you just tell Cynthia Miller, thank you, please, if y'all would. But these are all random. So whenever we give out these channel memberships, they are random. What's up, Von Shay? Good to see you. These are random. So when we give out these channel memberships, we can't give them to specific people yet. Hopefully we can change that. All right, here we go.
According to records just obtained by WESH 2, the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's case sexually abused her for almost 2 years.
Michelle Imparato joins us in studio with more on what we're learning. Michelle.
Well, Nancy and Stuart, Stefan Stearns is in jail on charges of sexual battery and possession of child pornography. And this afternoon, we obtained one of his search warrants. And according to the document, Stearns spoke with investigators after Soto was reported missing last week. He told investigators he was fine with them looking through his phone as part of the investigation, but told them he had accidentally performed a factory reset on it just the day she disappeared. Now, despite that, investigators say they were able to find pictures and videos.
And just so y'all know, I actually used to work for cell phone companies. I used to do troubleshooting. You have to be very intentional to factory reset your phone. They said he accidentally factory reset his phone. I'm going to just let y'all know that's impossible to accidentally do. You have to be intentional. Matter of fact, I don't know about Apple phones because I haven't dealt with Apple in a long time. I used to actually work customer service for Apple. But you have to, for Google, you actually have to input your password to your Google account just to do a factory reset. So he is an absolute big ass, stupid ass pedophile liar.
Set on it just the day she disappeared. Now, despite that, investigators say they were able to find pictures and videos showing he raped Madeline repeatedly as far back as August of 2022 when she was 11, and that the abuse happened in the house where he, Soto, and her mother lived. They already had evidence that he had abused her after she turned 12. Soto was 13 years old when she was reported missing on February 26th. Soto's mother told investigators that Stearns, who is her boyfriend, had dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School, but found out at dismissal that Soto had never made it. Investigators say evidence showed Soto was never dropped off at school. Stefan Stearns remains in jail on charges of sexual battery and child sex abuse material. Stuart, Nancy, back to you.
First breaking in the death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Why prosecutors are now calling for an investigation into this local sheriff, and how the story Madeline's mother provided law enforcement doesn't line up with what investigators know. We spoke.
Real quick, let me say thank you to Grace Sky Photo, who is also a channel member and gave away a channel membership. And the recipient is Taiwanda Caesar. So Taiwanda, if you're listening, you now have a channel membership. If you would do me a favor and just thank Grace Sky Photography in the building. Thank you, Grace. Appreciate that.
One-on-one with Jennifer Soto last Tuesday. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. At that point, her daughter Madeline had been missing for 1 day. She told us that Stefan Stearns, her boyfriend and now the prime suspect in Madeline's death, had taken the teenager to school. She said the last conversation she had with the 13-year-old was the night before. But this report we got a hold of today shows she told deputies she saw her daughter the morning of her disappearance. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler has been digging into the details of this case. She joins us live in studio. And Shannon, that's not the only thing you noticed in this new report.
Greg, no one has been charged in Madeline Soto.
Let me say thank you also to D Queen. D Queen, if you're listening, I did get your Cash App with a very cool little personalized note, which I didn't even know you could do that. So it's kind of similar to what PayPal does. So if you're listening, I want to say thank you, D Queen. I did get your Cash App. So much love. Thank you. All right, let's keep going.
Death, but we do know investigators are looking into who knew what and when. And some of that means looking at those initial interviews of the couple and the ones later on. Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken...
Look at how she's looking at him. She doesn't look concerned at all. Who said that in the chat? Somebody says she'll be charged as a co-conspirator. Let me tell y'all, she doesn't, her demeanor doesn't seem like a mother that cares about her daughter being, R word, sexually assaulted, murdered, and tossed away like garbage. She seems like she's more into that man based on everything that I've seen so far. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong about this or not. I'm going to back this up because that is freaking creepy.
Not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from Stephen Stearns and Soto trying to piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
Detective.
Wow, y'all hear that? Let's back this up. Even the news caught that. This is all brand new information. I don't know if y'all have seen this. Look at this. Listen to this again. Listen how she changes her story.
Early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from Stephen Stearns and Soto trying to piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
So prosecutors, Osceola County or whoever it is, whatever county is responsible for this in Florida, Kissimmee or whatever, she should be arrested and do prison time for just that interview and that misinformation alone. Is anybody else in the chat with me on that? Do y'all disagree? Am I being too harsh? Remember, if y'all keep asking, what does the AFC stand for? Advocates for Children. We're here to advocate for children first. I don't care about this mother. I don't care about the stepdad. I don't care about the biological father. I care about the children, and it is their responsibility to do right. If they don't, they should be punished. I think this mother is a crap mother. Yep. Change the story. I see a lot of people saying they agree. Huh.
detectives believe Maddie was likely dead early Monday morning because the video timeline shows Maddie's belongings being dumped in a dumpster at 7:35 by Stearns. At 8:19, Sheriff Mina said video shows Maddie in Stearns' vehicle believed to be deceased. Since then, the case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment. So this initial report also shows that Stearns told investigators that after Maddie got out of his car, she stopped to look in that book bag before he drove away. That same book bag was found actually in the dumpster. After her death, he then said he went home for about an hour after going to the vape store and running errands. He was home that day until 2:30. Detectives say a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where the little girl's body was found that afternoon.
All right, Shannon, it is starting to piece together. Thank you. We also spoke to suspect Stephen Stearns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
Again, law enforcement believes Stearns never drove Madeline to school and that
Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too.
piece together. Thank you. We also spoke to suspect Stephen Stearns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
Again, law enforcement believes Stearns never drove Madeline to school and that she was already dead that morning.
Greg, also breaking this afternoon, the state attorney's office says it's asking the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate how and why a photo that appeared to be a body in the woods was.
Oh, hold on. Let's hear that. Hold on. Let's hear that last part.
Sheriff had the photo or who took it, the image, when sharing a post of himself visiting a senior citizens area. The sheriff's office has not said why the sheriff had the photo or who took it. Developments continue to come out in this tragic story in our community. For Eyewitness News at 5.
Tonight, we're learning disturbing new details in the case of a teenager found dead in St. Cloud days after being reported missing.
Documents obtained by West 2 today allege that Stephen Stearns, the boyfriend of Madeline Soto's mom, was sexually abusing that teen for nearly 2 years. Haley Crumblehome breaks down what else these documents reveal. Haley.
So according to those documents, law enforcement was able to find some disturbing videos and images on Stearns' phone, despite the fact that he said he accidentally did a factory reset on that phone the day that Madeline disappeared. But like I said, law enforcement were still able to get some significant information off of that phone. They say the pictures and videos they found on it show he had been sexually abusing Madeline since at least August of 2022, when she was just 11. They say the room that could be seen in some of the pictures is a room in the home Madeline shared with her mother and with Stearns. Now, right now, Stearns is being held here in the Osceola County Jail on no bond on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material.
I want y'all to hear from her. Let's watch this. Here we go.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your first, your last name, and spell them both out for me.
Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFER SOTO.
And I want y'all to look at how much she's shaking. That is also an indicator of guilt or lying. Just shaking, shaking, shaking.
Mother.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry.
true.
She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry. That should be it.
Tearing up my glasses. I have no idea what that. I have no idea what that was. You thought it was a bird? I thought it was a bird too. Said it's an automatic dog feeder. It sounds like a parrot. How can you laugh at a time like this? I'm just dumbfounded with this entire thing. That's the pet's automatic feeder. I've never heard nothing like that. It's called a Dooku, or records a message for your pet. That is weird. I've never heard of that. Okay.
Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that will put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it. Yeah.
What has the school said? Have you given in contact with the school?
Yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras that's too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy, so they can't see specific faces. But they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior?
Not
to
at all.
just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all, no. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school.
I'm going to try to fix this audio. I'm trying to fix this right now. So I'm going to convert this audio and then I'm going to bump it up so you guys can hear it a little bit better. Let me say thank you real quick. Raven Queen 77, who joined us at level 3 AFC for channel membership. So if you're listening, thank you and shout out to Raven Queen. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And am I missing anybody else real quick? We'll keep going. I'm not going to keep stopping it. That's everybody so far.
But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD, her memory. She's very forgetful. So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives now have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
13?
She's 13 years old, yes.
13, Madeline?
Madeline.
What are you thinking right now?
in my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think.
Friends, the friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much.
To bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at James' house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one week and maybe she went back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school. But we did check if she could have walked. My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all of her friend's house. I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think? Oh gosh, I just had it tip of my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it. That's about it.
And you said this is not like her.
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions?
No.
Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We are desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if
y'all ask me, this does not sound like a concerned mother at all. Let me pause this real quick. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a better audio version. Let's see, 5. Let me see, is it this one? Yeah. So I'm going to fix this audio for you real quick. That way you can hear it a little bit better. I'm not sure if y'all can even hear that good or not. Thank you to Cynthia Miller. If you're listening, I got your cash or your PayPal actually. If you're listening, I want to say thank you. Definitely appreciate you because she always shows some love. So if Cynthia, if you're listening, sweetheart, thank you very much for that. So let me see if I can get, I'm going to just play this next video because it looks like this is going to take a moment. So let's keep going. If y'all will, do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. You said it sounded fine? Well, this is going to sound better. I want to make sure y'all didn't miss any of this. So I actually really fixed this audio. I can't go into detail about everything I did, but I just did a whole lot. And it's about 60% finished. So hold on. I'm going to just play this next video because it looks like this. Let me see what it sounds like.
Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling?
We only have 276 thumbs up, but we got almost 470 people here. If y'all are listening, can y'all do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up, please? And Pooh, if you're listening, do me a favor and type something in the chat. I do not see your name in the chat. So type in the chat. If you're listening, I do not see you in the chat. Type something in the chat. I'm looking and I do not see your name. Type something in there. What's up, Marique? Good to see you, bro. How do I send some cash to help? So here's the thing. If you want to donate, you're generally donating to support my platform. So it's not going to anything in particular unless you want me to put it towards something in particular. You could always let me know. But the simple answer is, oh, there you go. I see you right there. So to answer your question, if you want to donate, we have Cash App and PayPal available. So to Wendy, the Cash App is $DJJustJOK. It's in the description box, or PayPal at DJJustJOK. So I appreciate you asking. Definitely appreciate that. All right, let's see if we can get this better audio version up here.
So the first question is, can I have your first, your last name, and spell them both out for me?
Okay. Jennifer Soto, Jenn.
That is better, but it's not correct. I forgot to mute this. Oh, shit. Yeah, you got to mute that, Just Jay. Hold on. Let's do that again. All right. Until then, I'm going to play the next video. Let's keep going.
And right now, investigators are working to piece together Madeline Soto's murder. The 13-year-old teenager was found dead in rural Osceola County on Friday. The prime suspect, Maddie's mother's boyfriend, is behind bars this morning. This investigation has been a multi-agency effort, as you know. Officers and deputies from Orange and Osceola counties work together, hoping for a positive outcome, but prepared for the worst. Maddie's case ultimately ending in tragedy. Joining me in studio now to discuss the death investigation is former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolone. Chief, thank you so much for being here. It is always good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
This was just such a massive search effort. And for those of us in the media who do these kinds of stories all the time, and for you as former police chief, walk me through kind of the stages and when we all kind of knew that this was not going to end the way that we had hoped it would.
So when the first officer arrives through the process until the investigators come on the scene, there's a lot of information that's being collected, and based on that initial information, that sets the stage for the things to come. In this particular situation, it was clear that something was not right, and through the process of collecting evidence, to include video evidence and what have you, that also created more of an urgency, or actually set the stage for what was then said, that the outcome of this investigation was not going to be a good one.
One of the things we noticed is that the morning that the announcement was made that Madeline's body had been found, the family had stopped talking. Does that indicate that perhaps the night before they were told, which we now know, that this was not going to end the way that we, of course, wanted it to end? And with the family not speaking out at all, and then this discovery being made, it kind of was strategic, I think, on the part of the police to say, listen, we're going to keep you quiet, but then we're going to make this announcement. And that's typically how it works when you know that this is going to be the end result.
Yes, you have to take into consideration how any messaging will affect the family, the survivors. And in this particular case, I think it was the right move, to inform them of what was was going to happen, and of course, the outcome that was announced.
The thing I think is so sad is that we're all human beings. I say this all the time as a journalist. There are some stories that even though, we obviously have to be objective, we are human beings and they still affect us. Talk about the mental toll that something like this takes on the officers who are probably parents themselves and how this can affect them.
All right, let's see if we can get this audio version to work.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your last name and spell them both out for me.
Okay. Jennifer Soto. Desperate for black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
So this audio should be a little bit more clear. So let's keep going.
This is not like her.
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her.
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions?
No.
Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We are desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if...
Is she not shaking like she's having a seizure? Y'all see this? Like, to me, that indicates that she's lying. All that shaking she's doing.
If you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. No word. No text message. No messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with. Any app. No weird conversations. Nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, to take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, if someone... I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get. But, like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no, Tom? I think that was everything. All right, the first... Okay. So the first question is... She always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no, Tom? I think that was everything.
Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, I was saying, let's get to the boyfriend's part. Here we go.
All right, the first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephen Stearns, STEPHANSTERNS.
All right, so Stephen, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. And we're scared.
I want y'all to think about this. This is the man that sexually assaulted R-A-P-E-D, this young 11, 12, 13-year-old girl. This is the same man that was sexually assaulting somebody's baby out here. This is freaking sick.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away.
If y'all ever wanted to hear a pedophile talk, listen to him.
It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be. And we're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, and but it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with.
Keep doing that. This is the man that we believe killed her. This is her killer talking. This is her killer. Think about that.
But it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had a 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here, and she's just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. Not feeling her presence here is... Sorry.
Y'all don't think that this looks crazy, that this alleged stepfather is crying more than the biological mother? Huh? He's wiped his eyes from tears, alleged tears, more than the biological mother has. Everything about all of this body language is wrong.
It's hard.
I know you're fine. Don't need to apologize. What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence: waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now. In one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other. And I just want to wake up and just get hit with waves of the reality. Just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end. And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Just conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just want our baby girl back.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
He wants the baby girl back, and you'd have to ask for what? What do you want her back for? To continue to keep assaulting her?
The body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto was found on Friday after she was reported missing by her mother. The prime suspect is the mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns. He was arrested 2 days before her body was found. Caitlin Becker has been following the story all along. Caitlin, an arrest made before the body was found. This seems pretty unusual. Break it down.
It is, Henna. The timeline here is a little bit weird. So she was reported missing on Monday. He was arrested on Wednesday, and her body was found on Friday. Now, he wasn't arrested for anything having to do with her disappearance or even her killing. He was arrested by police and taken into custody on charges of sexual battery and possession of child abuse material after they found disturbing images on his phone. Now, police did not go so far to say as to whether or not Madeline was the alleged victim of this abuse. However, they did after they found or even her killing. He was arrested by police and taken into custody on charges of sexual battery and possession of child abuse material after they
Possession of child abuse material.
They found disturbing images on his phone. Now, police did not go so far to say as to whether or not Madeline was the alleged victim of this abuse. However, they did say the abuse happened at home. And investigators said on Wednesday when they arrested him that they were confident at that point that Madeline was in fact dead. She was still missing at the time. So it seems like they had put together quite a bit of evidence at that point.
What do investigators think happened?
Well, they don't believe that Madeline made it to school that day and that Stearns was the last person to see her alive. The timeline here is very, very short. They believe she died quickly after leaving that morning. He was spotted allegedly coming home around 8:19 a.m. with Soto visible in the vehicle. And I do anticipate that we're going to get some more charges coming at us. What you're seeing here is the scene where her body was found. It was found in a wooded area a few days later. But I do anticipate quite a few more charges, including possibly homicide and even maybe tampering with evidence or destruction of evidence, because police also say that they have footage of him tossing items into a dumpster around 7.
I have somebody in the chat who said that he had videos of him R-A-P-E or R-A-P-I-N-G, this little girl when she was 11 years old and maybe more. I haven't heard that in the news, haven't seen any articles, but if that's true, which is why he also tried to do a factory reset, which what we used to call back in tech support, we used to call that an RTN, a pound RTN. You do an RTN to a phone to factory reset it. He factory reset his phone to try to delete probably a bunch of child porn he had on there. Probably including this little girl too.
And something in the morning that came back to be allegedly her backpack and belongings.
Oh, such a disturbing case. Thank you for that update, Caitlin. Thanks for watching.
Now to the tragic developments over the weekend surrounding this 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Authorities confirmed her body was found 4 days after she was reported missing by her mother. The discovery was made Friday in a remote area off of Hickory Tree Road near Pearl Lake west of US 192. This morning, the big question is what will come next for this man, her mother's boyfriend, the prime suspect now in the case. Our Ezzy Castro is following the latest, and Ezzy, so far, there have been no new charges against him.
Nothing new just yet, Bridget. The only new thing that we know is that Stefan Soto was actually moved from the Orange County Jail to here, to the Osceola County Jail. But so far, investigators say Stearns has not cooperated with the investigation.
Stephen Stearns, or Stephens. Your Honor, at this time, I am going to waive Mr. Stearns' appearance. I'm also going to waive the reading of these charges. Mr. Stearns is aware of what he's been arrested for.
Stephen Stearns was a no-show in court Saturday morning, hours after the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto was found in Osceola County.
Stefan Stearns was transported from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola County Jail, where he is being held on capital sexual battery charges filed by the Kissimmee Police detectives.
Investigators are calling Stearns a prime suspect in Madeline's disappearance and say he never dropped her off near her school in Hunters Creek, which is what they initially had said when she was reported missing last Monday.
We believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Meantime, dozens gathered Friday night to honor the 13-year-old whose life was taken too soon.
I'm a dad of a 15-year-old. It's heartbreaking and saddening to kind of see this happening. Your children are supposed to be protected, and unfortunately in this case, she was exposed.
We're told by the school district that grief counselors are available for both students and staff members who are dealing with this tragedy. Now, we did learn that there is a GoFundMe page for Madeline's funeral costs. I checked this morning, over $10,000 has been raised. So
let me see if I can find that GoFundMe real quick. So hold on. Let me see if I can find that GoFundMe. Madeline Soto GoFundMe. Oh my God, there is a GoFundMe. Is there two of them? One. Okay, just one. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this. So we're going to look at this in real time together. Now, remember what I've told you guys. I believe that GoFundMe should not supplement life insurance. You should have life insurance. That's what life insurance is for, to bury your loved ones. Everyone should have life insurance, okay? Now, looking at this GoFundMe, Stephanie Soto, which is right here, is the aunt of this girl. So this is the sister, I believe, to the mother. And I want y'all to think about this. Why would the aunt set this GoFundMe up? You would think it'd probably be the mother. But nonetheless, the aunt is doing this. Is she going to put this money into the mother's hands, or are they going to send it to the funeral home? I really don't know. But all I know is that she asked for $15,000 and they've collected more than 16. And that number in 3 days is probably going to go up. Okay? And again, I want you guys to remember that these funding sources could be funding the people who are associated with the crime that happened to this child. So here's what I'm saying. If the aunt is collecting this money, then I believe that she's probably going to send it to the mom. And if she sends it to the mom, I believe the mom is complicit in the sexual assault of her daughter. And I believe that she knew what was going on all of these years. How would you not know that this man is sexually assaulting your daughter? Or did you even care? I don't think she cared. I think that they discussed this. I believe that they had concocted a story together. And I believe that the mom is just as involved as the dad with regarding knowing what happened. And for that, I believe that the biological mother needs to be in prison and be investigated also. I think she's lying. I think she's full of BS. And I think that this little girl deserves the justice to be able to look into the mother and really, really find out if there are some things that are not lining up. One of those things being that you already have her on tape, that the biological mother lied about the whereabouts regarding to when this girl went to school and who took her to school. I think that should be an arrestable offense, and I think that the mother deserves prison time just for lying about that piece of information. Why would you lie? Why would you give conflicting information? To me, that sounds like a cover-up. I would not take anything lightly against anybody who gives false information to police and to prosecutors, and I think that they need to suffer for that. To this young lady, young Madeline Soto, Princess, R.I.P., and we hope to get full and true justice for whatever actually happened to her. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story and sharing. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll bring you guys probably another update when we get some more information, all right? Thank you. I love New Orleans. I love the state of Louisiana. It's one of my favorite places to visit, but it's definitely not my favorite place to deliver news out of because they keep delivering some of the worst stories. This is very tragic. In this situation, you have a father who was already dealing with a very, very tragic situation where he was under a lot of emotional damage as to what happened to his older son. But even then, no matter what you're going through, it cannot end like this. Let me give you guys a disclaimer before I give you the details. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from WWLTV.com. So if you guys are listening, thank you for the article. New Orleans, according to Kenner Police, a man by the name of Melvin McClinton Sr. succumbed to his injuries sustained from a suicide attempt. So he died from suicide following the death of his 3-year-old son. And I'm going to give you guys his name. His name is Carmelo, which is this baby boy right here. Early Friday, McClinton Sr. was reported still lying in the hospital in critical condition after he shot his 3-year-old son, Carmelo, then shot himself in the head. Family members, why would you do that to your kid? I don't care what you were going through. You can't tell me a good reason for that. Mental illness, none of it matters, okay? This is what I believe. So just for everybody to understand, full disclosure, full transparency, in my humble opinion, I don't care if you're suffering from mental illness. Mental illness will never and can never be an excuse to hurt, murder, or abuse children. If you do, it needs to be punished, and your name needs to be smeared through the mud, including this father who's now deceased, but he's not a good person, okay? Just want to throw that out there. Let me say thank you real quick to Cynthia Miller, who's already a channel member and showing love, donated by way of PayPal and donated channel memberships to Melissa Stifler, Renee, to Queen Ebony, to Pooh, you now have a channel membership, and to TMI Creations. So if you guys would do me a favor and thank her for your channel membership, showing some love. Donna Aguayo, showing some love. Thank you, sweetheart. You're late, but you are right on time. We are just starting on story number 2, so thank you very much. Let's keep going. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for donating. Appreciate that. Boom. All right, let's keep going. Family members say that McClinton, the father, was grappling with the loss of his 18-year-old son, who was also named Melvin McClinton. And I don't know if I have a picture of him. Let me see if I do. So I omitted putting that picture in there, but it's really easy to find. But he lost his 18-year-old son, who was shot and killed on February the 5th on 42nd Street. So that's a whole nother story in itself. I think he did an interview about it. It was just really, really difficult. I get it. I understand to a certain extent. You said, how do I do that? How do you set it to accept gifts? What are you talking about, Denise? If you would, if you can tell Ash or Emmy or one of our moderators like what you're trying to do, I think that Ash and Emmy or let me see, Tanea or Reej can help you out with that. So let them know what you're trying to do, and if I see it, I can give you an answer here in just a second. Just a few hours ago, just a few hours before Wednesday's incident, the suspect accused of killing Melvin McClinton Jr., Jaron Crimmins, appeared in court, according to court documents obtained by WWL Louisiana. Crimmins is facing a first-degree murder charge and 2 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm. According to our partners at NOLA.com, a detective testified at a Wednesday court hearing that the text messages showed that Crimmins arranged to meet up with one of McClinton's friends for a drug deal. So it was a drug deal gone bad, and I'm sorry to hear that this young man lost his life behind that, but I think that most people understand that there is nothing good that is going to come from selling drugs if you do it. This is the type of stupid crap that can happen. Crimmins was also arrested previously in April of 2023 and August of 2023. Charges from those arrests include resisting arrest, possession of a firearm, illegal possession of stolen things, and more. Had McClinton Sr. recovered, the father, police said that he was going to be charged with first-degree murder. Oh, wow. Let me say that again. Had McClinton Sr. recovered from his wound, his fatal wound of shooting himself, he was going to be facing a first-degree murder charge. Lord have mercy. Now, I want y'all to think about this. In this story, how many black lives have been lost? Can we get a hashtag BLM, which over here, if you understand hashtag BLM, it don't stand for Black Lives Matter. It actually stands for Babies' Lives Matter. AFC, Advocates for Children. Hashtag BLM, Babies' Lives Matter. How many black lives have been lost in this story? The father, his elder son, his younger son, and the person who shot his older son. And we continue to keep losing bundles and bundles and bundles of black men like we're losing socks at the laundromat, like it doesn't mean anything. If Black Lives Matter, why is it that it always only matters when somebody of a different race takes a black life. And I'm not saying anybody should do it. I'm saying, why do we do it in such high numbers and it doesn't seem to slow down? Nobody seems to care. Nobody's railing against it. Nobody's protesting against it. Nobody has set up organizations to keep fathers in the home and check on fathers' mental well-being and make sure that we're creating families. Make sure that these fathers are able to provide for themselves and their families financially, get education, start a business, be legal, rather than keep having situations like these all day. Family members are grieving. So let me skip that part. The family created a GoFundMe campaign. Lord have mercy. Y'all want to see this GoFundMe? If you want to see it, I'll show it. A GoFundMe for what? What's the point? What's the point of a GoFundMe? What's the point of this? I say it about anybody and everybody. People should have life insurance. So the biological father, no life insurance. His 18-year-old grown son, no life insurance. His 3-year-old son, no life insurance. Dora Brooks, and I'm not sure if she specifies who she is in this story, but Dora Brooks is the organizer of this fundraiser, asked for $10,000, and they've collected almost $10,000. There's a good picture of the young man. Good looking picture of the young man. My philosophy when it comes to these GoFundMes is, why do we go all out when a person is dead, but when they are alive, we don't support them, we don't care about them, we don't donate to live people, we don't donate to schools, we don't donate to furthering people's education, we're not giving people, what do they call those? Trust funds, college funds, things that would help propel someone in life. But we're going to make sure and get them custom wrapped caskets when they're dead. We're going to get them gold caskets. We're going to get them the best headstones. We're going to go get them the most expensive grave plots that money can buy. We're going to go have the biggest funeral ever. We're going to live stream it. And we're going to bring in famous singers to come in and sing and all of that good stuff. We're going to bring in famous pastors and activists. I've always been curious, why do we go all out for dead people? I'm just asking a question. We won't support the live people out there. Matter of fact, I want y'all to think about this. How many children do we have in foster care who still don't have a place to call home? They don't have a mother and a father. No one. And most of them are going to age out of the system, get out there in the world, and not know how to produce a proper family because they didn't see it and no one's educating them how to do it. But we'll start a GoFundMe. That makes our conscience feel better. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. You guys can help this channel. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, share this with somebody. I'd love to see more people see this video, okay? So here we go. Let's get it.
My brother, he loves his children like to death, like anything. Like my brother, like he loves his kids. My brother, he just, the things that he went through for as losing a son, and trying to hold it together and everything it was too much for him to bear. It was like my brother was crying out. He was on Facebook. He was talking. He was telling people like, we have to change. We have to be this. You know what I'm saying? We have to do this.
And your 3-year-old nephew, tell me a little bit about him.
Mello, man, that's my baby. Yeah, he joy of the world, beautiful little boy. Like he used to be saying, baby, let me get that baby dog. My dog just had puppies. He just said he liked the baby dog. That's my baby dog. He ain't deserve what happened. Like my brother just was going through a lot.
Tell me your reaction to when you heard the news last night, and when you got that phone call.
I was there. I was a witness to the whole thing, but I left out of the house because I know me and my brother. If he mad, he gonna direct it toward anybody, and I just didn't want to be in it. And when I seen my sister-in-law run out the house, and I heard a pop, and I seen her run out the house, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. Like.
So you were there and you heard the gunshots and you were out. It sounds like you were outside the house.
Yeah.
In that moment, I can't even imagine, in your heart, in your head, what was that feeling when you heard that sound?
It was like losing a child. It was like I knew I lost something.
Peyton, thank you. A Kenner man is unresponsive and remains in critical condition after police say he shot and killed his 3-year-old son, then turned the gun on himself. Leah McNeil joins us for what we know so far and why family members say the man's mental health played a role in this tragic case.
Well, Leslie, Kenner Police Chief Keith Conley says this all started as an argument that turned physical. It ended with the shooting death of this 3-year-old. The child's uncle, Thelmus Williams, says his name was Carmelo. Police got the call Wednesday night just after 7 p.m. Conley says Carmelo's mother and father, Melvin McClinton Sr., were arguing at a home in the 800 block of 27th Street.
Father of the baby took a weapon out, shot a 3-year-old in the head, and then went out into the driveway and shot himself in the head.
In the weeks leading up to this, Williams says his brother was not sleeping, on edge, and just wasn't feeling himself, grieving the loss of his 18-year-old son, Melvin McClinton Jr., who was shot and killed on February 5th.
The things that he went through for as losing a son and trying to hold it together and everything, it was too much for him to bear. All he knew was the streets. My brother lost his child to the streets.
He heard the shot that killed his nephew. Now Williams has to bury his second nephew. Their deaths less than 30 days apart.
Mello, man, that's my baby. Yeah, he joy of the world, beautiful little boy. He ain't deserve what happened. Like my brother just was going through a lot.
Police also acknowledged the family's reports of McClinton's mental state leading up to Carmelo's death.
And when I seen my sister-in-law run out the house, and I heard a pop, and I seen her run out the house, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do. Like.
Tragic story tonight. A 3-year-old boy dead after police say he was shot by his own father. Moments later, the father turned the gun on himself. Good evening, and thank you for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Cherise Gibson. This fatal shooting took place in Kenner, and the family is now even deeper in grief after they recently buried another loved one. Alyssa Curtis joining us now live from Kenner. Alyssa, this is a tragic story that hurts all of our hearts.
It is just horrible to hear and to speak about what happened. We're told it's been an extremely tragic month for this family, and it all unfolded last night here at this home behind me. Last night, a domestic argument between Melvin McClinton and the mother of his 3-year-old son turned deadly. His brother spoke to us just a little bit ago, and he says his brother got to a breaking point after his oldest son was shot and killed just a few weeks ago.
Mello, man, that's my baby. Yeah, he joy of the world, beautiful little boy.
Thalmus Williams is grieving the life of his 3-year-old nephew after a horrific crime.
He ain't deserve what happened. Like, my brother just was going through a lot.
According to Kenner police, Williams' brother, Melvin McClinton, shot his 3-year-old son, Carmelo, in the head before turning the gun on himself Wednesday night. Kenner police say McClinton and the mother of the child were arguing.
From what the investigation revealed was there was a domestic disturbance over the father's disciplining of the child. So we think that might have triggered him to escalate into that act of violence.
The child was pronounced dead at the scene. McClinton was unresponsive and taken to the hospital. Williams says he was there when all this was unfolding, but says he walked out of the house because he didn't want his brother to direct his anger at him. He was just outside when he heard the gun go off.
And like I knew I lost something.
Williams says Wednesday night's incident wasn't out of malice, but instead the breaking point of a man who just lost another son. McClinton's 18-year-old, also named Melvin McClinton, was shot and killed February 5th. Williams says his brother was not acting like himself Wednesday.
He wasn't sleeping. He was like, every time my mama would tell him to lay down, he'd be like, all right, mama, all right, all right, all right. Like he wasn't himself. Like my brother is just the pressure of all this stuff and him losing his child. He lost his son. He's spitting the image up, looked just like him.
In the midst of this unimaginable tragedy, he wants everyone to know his brother loved his kids.
My brother was sick. My brother was going through something. He ain't hurt his child. He didn't want to hurt his child.
Let me stop it right there. And let me say this, because this is going to be tough love coming from me. From me to that man that you saw on the screen just a second ago. I understand that he cared and loved about his brother. He's known his entire life. I understand that he cares about his nephews. Could be a close-knit family. But at the end of the day, if he was going through something volatile, whatever it is that he's going through, I could even understand if he were to just simply hurt himself, to remove himself from this world, from this situation, from his own pain, and leave his son behind for the rest of the family to raise. I could even understand that, even though I'm not advocating for that at all. I'm advocating for people to deal with their demons and deal with their problems in a proper way. This ain't it. But on top of that, why would you take your anger out on your son, the most innocent, the smallest, the most defenseless, and the one who has the most to live for, to grow up and become something great? This might sound bad of me saying this, but I'm going to say it because y'all come to me, in my opinion, and y'all send me these stories because you want to hear what Jay really thinks about these stories. From Jay being from the hood, from Jay being from environments that I understand, what drugs and gangs and all of that stuff looks like, and I can still tell you this. The path that his 18-year-old son was going down was already a bad, beaten path. He was going to become a drug dealer and a gangster at that point. It sounds bad of me to say this. You have to be careful what you put in your bed. When you make it, you have to lay in it. You have to be careful, and that is a cautionary tale to these young kids, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds that are growing up at that crossroads, trying to figure out what it is that they're going to grow up to do, whether they're going to go out and work, whether they're going to go out and start a business, whether they're going to go to school, whether they're going to go out into the streets, to a dead-end, fast-track road to nothingness. That doesn't get hardly anybody anywhere. That has a very, very low success rate. And he found out trying to make a drug deal with somebody else who had no guidance in their life and decided to end his life to try to get a quick come up because they don't value each other's life. They probably didn't have a father growing up in their life regarding to the man who murdered the 18-year-old son. He didn't see any value in himself, so he didn't see any value on this man's son. And that man's son didn't understand what he was stepping into. To grieve that is one thing. To then turn around and take that out, why would you take that out on your littlest baby? For what? I don't give a freaking flying damn what you were going through. And for that, you've besmirched your name forever, and that is going to be your legacy, that you murdered your son. And no, I don't have any sympathy for the father of this baby boy, but I have every bit of sympathy for that baby boy who couldn't speak for himself nor defend himself against the tyranny of his father. So to Carmelo, young Prince, let me back it up and say R.I.P. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you guys so much for listening to this story. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Am I being too mean? Let me know. Thank you.